Alright, how many of you don't know that professional wrestling is all scripted? I figured out when I was just a little kid that it's all an organized dance. In wrestling, there's what's called a work and a shoot. The work is working an angle, trying to sell a story so that the people will buy into it. A shoot is when something goes wrong, some guy connects with a punch or does something that the other guy doesn't particularly agree with, and it's on. No punches get pulled, knees are landed harder than they should be, and so forth and so on. And to me, this all looks like a work and a shoot. Donald Trump's working an angle. He's trying to harangue the deep state into a certain position so that all of this will come out and they'll be exposed, and quite literally the swamp will end up being drained. And by accident or design, he happens to know one of the best work and shoot guys on the face of this planet. Vince McMahon is quite literally a genius for what he's done in the wrestling world. And it's all work and shoot things. As far as the deep state goes, they wish they could think like Vince. They wish they could roll on his terms. Because he can sell millions and millions of people a certain angle and they'll buy it hook, line, and sinker. And a lot of them every time. But eventually some CM Punk character comes along and blows your whole ship right out of the water. And it looks like, from a real world point of view, that's exactly what's happened with Donald Trump. He's had to deal with deep state bullshit his whole career. Corruption and government levels and business levels, you name it. And he's finally found himself in a position where he can actually do something about it. And that benefits all of us. Because there's only room for so much corruption. And eventually all you're going to have is heels trying to screw up the show. So I don't really have any choice but to stick with Trump so far, because I've seen the work he's trying to do. I understand the angle, how he's trying to play it. And so far, so good. But in any event, there's bound to be hiccups. And you might need somebody on the ground that's used to those kind of things and has access to somebody else who might be all about that shit. And I don't know if anybody really took time to notice, but Linda McMahon, up until recently, was on the cabinet of the Trump administration. And as far as connections go, it's way too many connections for me not to at least entertain the notion that all of this comes back to a work and a shoot. And Trump's relationship with McMahon has bore that out, to me at least so far. But we're at the point now where the show's set. It's going down. And however it goes, it goes. And Linda McMahon recently resigned from the Trump administration. He doesn't have to use that side of the card anymore. nor probably should he, because this is where the rubber meets the road. Because the exposure part of the deep state, the CM Punk of this whole story is Julian Assange. And what way, like I said last night, the way he goes is the way we end up all going. If he ends up getting burned, then we're going to end up getting burned. Because he's too close to what the First Amendment in this country should stand for. And if they can take out the First Amendment, they can take down the whole thing. So, that's my attitude on it, my observation on majority of it. And I can't afford to look at Trump or give him any less credit for the work he's already done than I can for knowing that the deep state's out there for the work they've already done. And we're getting right down. It's almost showtime. The cage is coming down. The lights are coming on. And whether or not you believe in the works, the shows, the shoot, our whole future as a society, at least as a free society, and the notion of that throughout the world is all at stake. So you better hope it's a shoot on Donald Trump's part, because if it's a work and he's in on it, we're this close to having it all go down.